What's up, Guardians, and welcome back, Hunters. I'm Profane, thanks for checking out the video. We've returned to the Hunter class today to check out a powerful solar build that's been resurrected thanks to some key changes that took place at the start of Revenant. The young Ahamkara spine was one of several exotics that were reworked at the beginning of this new episode, giving this exotic a resemblance of its former glory back. This exotic comes with a Wish Dragon intrinsic trait, which improves the performance of Tripmines in a few different ways. This passively grants the fastball trait to any grenade option, including our gunpowder gamble. This gives a slight bonus to our throwing distance, and that makes it a lot easier to land these on targets who are far away. Tripmine grenades will receive a 14% increase to their explosive damage, and the radius of explosions will extend up to 14 meters. This makes Tripmines a much more effective grenade option in terms of crowd control, as you'll be able to catch a lot more enemies in the explosions. Your Tripmines will no longer apply self-damage, and the Tripmine itself will have increased durability, and they'll remain active for as long as 30 seconds. The greatest benefit that this exotic provides is the bonus grenade energy. Striking enemies with any solar ability will grant 33% bonus grenade energy. This includes our Tripmine grenade, our throwing knife, our gunpowder gamble, our super, and any scorch and ignitions that are created by our weapons. Not only will striking enemies with our solar abilities grant bonus grenade energy, but defeating enemies with solar abilities will also grant 33% bonus grenade energy. There is a 0.03 second cooldown between the bonus application of energy, but if we're facing up against a dense group of enemies, we're going to see our Tripmine grenades recharging within seconds. This exotic is not quite as potent as it once was, but this upgrade has significantly boosted this exotic status from being a C to B tier exotic to easily securing a spot as an A or even S tier exotic. Since Prismatic does not offer Tripmines as a grenade option, the only viable option that we have to use this exotic with is the Solar subclass. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we've set up our Solar class tree to facilitate the use of the young Ahamkara spine. When it comes to aspects, we are using the combination of Knock 'em Down and Gunpowder Gamble. Knock 'em Down provides two tremendous benefits, as it improves the performance of our super and the regeneration of our throwing knives. When we are Radiant, landing final blows with our throwing knife will fully recharge our melee ability. So by spamming our throwing knives, we'll be able to quickly recharge our Tripmine energy. To ensure that we're always able to have our throwing knife, we are using the Gambler's Dodge, which will fully restore our melee energy whenever performing our dodge near enemies. This creates an exciting and powerful combo, allowing us to seamlessly transition from dodging to throwing knives, then to throwing Tripmines and gunpowder explosives. A powerful cycle that keeps your enemies under constant duress of scorch, ignitions, and high-powered explosives. When it comes to our choice in supers, we are currently equipped with Blade Barrage for optimal crowd control. But if we were to enter into a damage phase against a raid or dungeon boss, then we would be swapping over to Marksman Golden Gun. When it comes to our choice in solar fragments, we are using Ember of Torches, and that's going to give us Radiance whenever we strike enemies with our powered melee. This will activate the bonus melee energy provided by Knock 'em Down, and when we have Radiance active, all of our weapons will deal 25% bonus damage. And any weapon that's not already pre-assigned to handle an unstoppable or overload champion will gain the added benefit of piercing barrier champion shields. We've got Ember of Singeing, and this will help us keep our dodge energy recharged, as scorching enemies grants a 400% bonus in the regeneration rate of our class ability. This is only a 3-second bonus, but it will activate each time we scorch a new target. With Ember of Ashes equipped, we'll apply 50% bonus scorch, which will cause ignitions to trigger much faster. By increasing the amount of scorch and ignitions that we cause, we'll give ourselves a huge bonus to the regeneration rate of our Tripmines. And with the increased uptime of our Tripmine grenade, we can make use of Ember of Resolve, which grants us with a stack of Cure whenever we defeat enemies with our grenades, and that's going to restore 60 points of health. So just through our class tree options, we've given ourselves massive damage bonuses, and have increased the uptime of all of our abilities, while giving ourselves an increase to our survivability. Before we talk about armor and artifact mods, let's go ahead and address the legendary and exotic weapons that we'll be incorporating into this build. We mentioned already that applying Scorch and creating ignitions will greatly benefit our goal of having infinite trip mines, so we need to be sure to utilize solar weapons that come with incandescent. There's a lot of powerful options that offer this trait, including the Callus Mini Tool, the Heliocentric Sidearm, the No Hesitation Auto Rifle, and the Cry Mutiny Grenade Launcher. Heal Clip is always a great option to add bonus levels of survivability, but by having Demolitionist, we can improve the uptime of our trip mines even further, and if we were to pair that up with Adrenaline Junkie, we could really tear through some enemies. When it comes to exotic weapons, we have a lot of top tier options. The Polaris Lance and Skyburner's Oath are incredible scout rifles that have the benefit of piercing barrier champion shields. Skyburner's Oath applies Scorch whenever using hip fire, and Polaris Lance creates solar explosions after consecutive precision shots, making both of these exotics great options to call on whenever having to play from a distance, as you'll have to do when it comes to Grandmaster Nightfalls. The Sunshot is another great option that's a little more suited for close range engagements. But if you're in need of something that's suited for damage, the Dragon's Breath would be a fantastic option, as it continuously applies Scorch and creates ignitions, and it also creates fire sprites. And by collecting fire sprites, we'll grant ourselves with a 12% bonus in grenade energy, helping us get those trip mines back even faster. And a big shout out to Duddits for recommending another powerful exotic option, the Buried Bloodline Exotic Sidearm, which grants Devour on rapid final blows. By triggering Devour, we'll give ourselves bonus health restoration and bonus grenade energy after each final blow. The bonus health will be great for when we jump into more challenging activities, and with anywhere between 8 and 20% bonus grenade energy getting applied on every final blow, we'll be able to have a constant supply of trip mines. We just need to be sure that we conserve ammo, so once we've activated Devour, we need to swap over to our other weapons and focus on using our abilities. When running the Bloodline, I would recommend using special ammo finders and even a special finisher mod so that you could regenerate ammo bricks whenever performing finishers. At the end of the day, it always depends on activity modifiers and what champions are present, so it's always a good idea to have a few options at the ready. But with our weapons now addressed, let's switch gears and talk about artifact mods. When using this build during Revenant, we won't see a whole lot of benefits out of the new seasonal artifact, since most of the mods are focused around stasis. But even still, there are a few artifact mods that we can call on to give us some improved gameplay performance. If we were to be using stasis weapons that come with Chill Clip, Headstone, or Cold Steel, we would want to make use of mods like Hail the Storm, which would improve the damage of shattering crystals and frozen enemies. Wind Chill would give us Frost Armor whenever using precision-based stasis weapons, and that would give us a small amount of bonus damage resistance. By including grenade launchers into our loadout, we could make use of the Concussive Reload mod, which would cause high-ranking enemies to become weakened. When those enemies are weakened, they'll take 15% bonus damage from any source. And by using heavy grenade launchers, we could reap the benefits of Kinetic Impact, which would cause kinetic tremors to activate on sustained damage, greatly improving the damage output of those heavy grenade launchers. The last standout artifact mod that we've got equipped is Debilitating Wave, and that triggers a wave of solar energy whenever performing finishers. Striking and defeating enemies with the Debilitating Wave will count as solar ability damage, which will contribute towards our bonus and Tripmine energy. With class tree, weapons, and artifact all covered, the only thing left to talk about is our choice in armor and armor mods. When it comes to character stats, the main areas of focus need to be resilience and discipline. Tier 10 resilience gives us a 30% reduction to incoming damage, and by having Tier 10 discipline, we would have the shortest possible cooldown time of our grenade energy. With our class ability governed by our mobility, it would be more sensible to focus towards mobility over top of strength, since performing our dodge will regenerate our melee energy, and when radiant, our melees will recharge themselves. When it comes to armor mods, our main goal is to generate bonus ability energy, which is why we're using Grenade Kickstart, which will provide as much as 34% bonus energy. But for that to work, we need to have armor charges. So to get armor charges, we need to make Orbs of Power. So we're using Firepower and Reaper mods. And to improve our Blade Barrage uptime, we are using Ashes to Assets on our helmet. So with the increased use of Trip Mines, we're going to be able to generate bonus super energy. And once you've put it all together, you're looking at a hunter build that's going to have incredible uptime of not only Tripmine grenades, but of all of our abilities and our super. And it's going to be a build that's going to dish out some incredible levels of damage, making us a much more dominating force whenever it comes to crowd control and ad clear situations. What I love most about this build is its versatility. With increased uptime of our throwing knife, gunpowder gamble, and trip mines, we can take on a much more aggressive playstyle and push right up into our enemies. But we could also play from a distance and continue to reap the benefits of the improved ability regeneration and improved trip mine performance. And with that said, we've now come to an end of today's Solar Hunter build, featuring the new and improved young Ahamkara spine. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this new build and whether you'll be giving it a try or not, so let us know down in the comments. If you need help putting together this build for yourself, then be sure to check out the Mobalytics link down below, where you'll be able to find this and a ton of other great in-game builds. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.